welcome to Level Up. I'm your host, Anthony Garcia. Today we will be discussing the evolution of role-playing games. Please welcome my very special guest, video game expert, Clayton Stauffer.
Thanks for having me.
Always good to have you on the show. So, exactly what makes you a video game expert?
Well, I've been playing video games since I've been about 3, and I've played a million consoles, and I've rocked them all.
No arguments for me. So, as you know, today we are discussing the evolution of RPGs. We will be playing 3 different games from various time periods.
I'm always up for playing some games.
Let's jump right in. The first game we will be playing is Legend of Zelda. Here's Vinny with the gameplay.
This is The Legend of Zelda. First, you've got to go in this cave and grab your sword from the old man. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this, says the old man. So I take it. And now we're off on an excellent adventure, one of the best games of all time. Zelda, it took RPGs, which did exist at the time, but almost entirely were turn-based, and turned it into the first action RPG, which is now a huge genre with games like Borderlands, Far Cry, and things like that. Even Fallout is considered an action RPG, and Skyrim maybe could be considered that. But all inspired by this one game. And the Zelda franchise is huge now. This game incorporated smooth combat, which inspired hundreds of games on every console since the NES. Although the game is simple and it's extremely difficult, it is still one of the most legendary games ever. Alright, I'm heading to the first temple just to show you what a temple in Zelda consists of. We probably will not complete the boss battle, but these things are extremely difficult to fight, so I'm running away. But when you start the game, you have 3 hearts, and you can collect hearts during the game and build it up to a massive amount. I'm not sure what the actual amount is that you can finish with. But and one thing about Zelda is the temples are always different. The temples have different themes or different enemies and different puzzles, which keeps the game interesting and fresh. Which is one thing about Zelda. I've never been bored playing Zelda. And the way that Zelda has evolved over the years is extremely awesome. Zelda went from a simple game like this, like a top-down view game, to now it is like a huge RPG. The newest Zelda, Skyward Sword, is massive, and there's so much to do, and the story is extremely awesome. I grabbed the key, and now I'm going to head through this door and head further into the temple. One thing about Zelda is when you have full hearts, you can throw your sword, making combat easier. But when you lose a heart or get hit, you have to actually hit them with your sword and get close, which is more difficult, especially against these skeletons. I grabbed a heart, so probably won't die now. Now, I'm gonna jump ahead further into the temple. Alright, I'm on my way to grab the bow, which is one of your side weapons and one of the most important side weapons in the game. And along with the boomerang, they are both pretty important. Zelda is an iconic game, giving symbols such as the Triforce or the boomerang or the sword that are known by almost everyone, even non-gamers today. And the characters from Zelda, everybody recognizes Link and Princess Zelda and some of the other characters from like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. It has affected almost every game released to like today. Games such as Darksiders and God of War take massive influence from Zelda. Although they're slasher games, they have puzzles that are reminiscent of Zelda. And now we've acquired our bow. And now that we have our bow, we are headed to the dragon's lair.
I've always been a fan of Legend of Zelda. How about you, Clayton?
Yeah, Ocarina of Time's, well, my all-time favorite game.
What is your favorite RPG element in the Zelda series?
You know, the 3D open world, the music. It started the action-adventure RPG.
Legend of Zelda is definitely a classic, but not a traditional RPG by definition. Another game that drifted away from the status quo of RPGs, but still stands as an extremely popular game, is Kingdom Hearts.
Now we're talking. The Kingdom Hearts is, also a great game. Yeah. It added the open world with the music, just made it a great game.
Kingdom Hearts took the Japanese RPG game and turned it upside down. Instead of the traditional turn-based combat, it had fast and stylish combat never before seen in an RPG. Well, let's go back to Vinny for a closer look into Kingdom Hearts.
I'm going to be showing you one of the most difficult boss battles in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which is a solely Japanese game, but we patched it in English for this playthrough. We will be fighting Roxas, one of the most difficult boss battle that people that don't have Final Mix don't know about, because it wasn't in the original game. And it's a very difficult boss battle. As you can see, he has a large amount of health, and my health is not that large. And I'm using one of my favorite Keyblades in Kingdom Hearts 2, which, speaking of Kingdom Hearts 2, is an excellent game. It added so much fast, smooth combat never before seen in a Japanese RPG, which were usually turn-based. Not always, but usually. And this revolutionized the action Japanese RPG. Well, we're going to skip ahead to later in the boss battle because I missed my special attack, which would have ended it. But when he's in one of his attacks here, we can throw a Keyblade to get him out of it. And also, throwing a Keyblade, you can only do it with certain Keyblades, and I'm pretty sure it's an ability you have to unlock. Like we said before, Zelda was the first really action RPG, but Kingdom Hearts based it off of some of the 3D Zeldas like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and took it to places it had never been before. With the combat is so smooth, as you can see in this boss battle here, it's so easy to transition from magic to the Keyblade to anything else, and the Keyblade is an excellent way to make the combat smooth. It's my attacks just flow together in combos, and it's great. The boss battles in Kingdom Hearts are hugely iconic and vary from boss battle to boss battle. They're not all the same like other games are. But you can be fighting a Disney character, a character that was original from Kingdom Hearts, or a Final Fantasy character, so you never know what you're going to get. It could be Final Fantasy style fights where it's not turn-based, but I mean you could tell it's from a Japanese RPG, or it could be a Disney boss battle because there are Disney characters in it, where it's usually more the bosses do something and then you're supposed to react to that, and then they do the same 3 attacks, and then they mix it up once you've heard them. If I can get my end special attack, that'll end it all.
Still one of the best games I've ever played, even after all these years. Kingdom Hearts was a key piece in the evolution of RPGs. It changed the way we define Japanese RPGs and evolved many aspects of both Japanese RPGs and action RPGs. What would you say is the biggest innovation of Kingdom Hearts?
Probably the combat system, the easy to change, settings, as well as, being able to switch from magic to, the Keyblade. It was extremely easy, and it made it fun.
Kingdom Hearts was a huge game for its time, but the modern-day top-of-the-line huge game is none other than The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yeah, this game evolved and, perfected the first-person RPG.
Without further ado, here's Vinny with The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
I'm going to be showing you one of the coolest aspects of the new Dragonborn DLC for Skyrim. It is dragon riding, and the Bend Will Shout gives you the ability to allow you to ride the dragon. And although we are not in Solstheim, the land from the new DLC, we are actually in Skyrim, the original map, but we are riding the dragon, which you couldn't have done before. Dragons are easier to find in the Skyrim map. And here we go, we're taking off with our dragon. You do not decide where to go. The dragon chooses that. That's why it is moving in circles and not where I tell it to go. But although dragon riding is a very cool aspect, I feel as if they could have expanded on it much more and allowed you to roam anywhere you please, with the dragons, just like you can with a horse. You can attack on your dragon or choose to land anywhere you want with the dragon. And now we're going to skip ahead to a battle with a dragon. And the weapon that I'm using right here is a crossbow, which is from the Dawnguard DLC, which was the first DLC for Skyrim. And now I'm going to use my Dragon Wren Shout to bring down the dragon. It makes the dragon land. It's from the original storyline. It's how you pretty much beat the final boss in Skyrim. But enough about the DLC. Skyrim is an extremely massive game and an extremely revolutionary game as far as RPGs go. The world is massive, and it included many RPG elements from past games and also perfected. Like, it didn't really release anything new, but it perfected almost every element in the RPG genre, and is why it is one of the most popular games ever. One of the most played games ever. And I'm finishing off the dragon now. But like I said, it added to the already expansive prequel to the game, Oblivion. It added dragon fighting, dragon riding. It added a bigger map, quests that weren't main quests, just like side quests. And Skyrim also added shouts, which are dragon. You get it from killing dragons and acquiring their souls and finding words of power to learn these shouts, which range from bringing a dragon down, being able to ride a dragon, shooting fire out of your fire breath, freezing people solid, becoming invisible, anything like that. It's very, very awesome.
That game is downright amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal.
What would you say is your favorite aspect of Skyrim?
Probably the open world, being able to explore caves and dungeons, and slaughtering a few animals there, but yeah, that's what I'd have to say is my favorite part.
So how do you usually play Skyrim? What races do you choose, and how do you use your character?
I usually go for a high elf that's a mage, shooting magic and just about anything I see.
I usually go for a Nord warrior, but that's just me. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Clayton, for joining us. You're always welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
To wrap things up, RPGs have evolved from a very small group of non-known games to a huge genre of impressive and expansive games. A lot of the blockbuster games out there are full-blown RPGs, or at least some form of RPG. We'll see you next time on Level Up.